Hey, my angel. Look how cute you are. Look how cute you are. All right. Lola was serious about getting outside today. I didn't even have time to get ready for real. Just threw on some glasses, tried to fluff out my hair as best as I could. But even that, she was complaining about, whining, saying we need to get out this fucking front door. So just threw some shit on, got the hell out. Right, mama? She feeling better now. She finally got to go 1 and 2. Anyway, we are going to make the best of this walk, this earlier start to the day. That's right, stop and smell the flowers and listen to a song. Hey guys, good morning. Thank you for bearing with us with that slightly more chaotic and backwards wake up, but Lola had a chance to do her big one, not once but twice outside, so she's good. I just put her food out so she can eat. The plan for today, it is now Monday, so the plan is to edit, apply to more jobs, finish folding my last load of laundry. Probably not going to work out today just because I feel like I've kind of been going like non-stop with the fitness. Like, gonna be a pretty homey, regular admin kind of day in the life. Where I'm at in my life right now, what are some of the things that I'm kind of trying to prioritize in this new chapter of my life. I'm 31 now, and I definitely feel different. I definitely feel like there are different things that are important to me right now in a way that I didn't necessarily feel when I was 30 and still working. And I'll make a separate video kind of looking backwards on how I ended up here, why I quit my job in the first place, like what prompted me to do that in this really hectic market with like no plan B, and lessons that I've learned. So stay tuned for that. Leave any questions or comments in the comment section down below if there are things that you specifically want me to focus on in that video. Now I am starving, so we are going to make some breakfast. Also, I forgot to mention, but the New York Liberty won the championships last night, WNBA champions, so shout out to our girls. Wanted to make sure I gave them their flowers before I got on with the day and continued with normal life, but it is a great day to be a New Yorker. Watches the substance and continues to opt for taking care of the body she has now. Don't watch that movie if you don't like horror or like gore or like body horror, blood, anything like that. Okay, so we're gonna need almond milk, eggs, oats, banana, I love you. Banana. Ignore my chaotic kitchen. I'm just a girl with a dog. There are these handy dandy measurements on the cup, I guess, that the blender I use comes with. So I just followed those measurements when I'm actually like portioning shit out. I'm gonna start with the oats. I'll probably fill it up to, since I'm using a whole banana instead of half, I'm gonna go to the 6 ounce line. Yeah, Yep, I'm gonna fill up that same amount in almond milk, if I can remember the measurements correctly. I've been making this for years, guys, so like, let's try this together. And then you're gonna blend it, and you wanna get it to a consistency where it's like, obviously liquid, but a bit more dense and like viscous, if that makes sense. We're gonna use my little ghetto blender that is not the NutriBullet. See how it's like, it's liquidy, of course. We want it to still be like a little thick, slim thick, if you will. A little slim thick queen. Get every last bit, child. Listen, you know who raised me. And the cover too, like, stop playing with me. Add chia seeds to it, mix it all together. I am going to make those pancakes, cook myself some eggs, sit down, get ready to enjoy my meal. Pancakes. My little silver dollars are Denzo. Applied to like, I don't even know how many jobs at this point, but it's 1 p.m. now, and this is all I've been doing for hours. So I think I'm going to try to do another 30 to 45 minutes or so of applications, and then take a break, make myself something to eat for lunch, and hang out with Lola, who's just been chilling on the couch this whole time, napping, and I'm honestly very jealous of her. I'm super tired. Been a few hours. I just spent most of the morning working like you guys saw, and then I had some lunch and took a break and was just kind of watching TV for a little bit. I just took Lola to the dog park and picked up a sandwich for myself to eat for dinner, which I'm gonna get into after this clip, and also my favorite snacks, which are these Welch's specifically strawberry food snacks. Anyway, I wanted to just kind of spend some time talking about this current season that I'm in my life, and why I decided to create this channel in the first place, and you know what I'm hoping to achieve with this. Sorry, once again my hair is just irritating me. I'm just at this stage in my life where my priorities are shifting. Certain compromises that I used to make, I'm not willing to make anymore, whereas like other compromises I would never make, I am willing to make. I just feel like before I was so gung-ho about like only taking certain jobs, making a certain amount of money, climbing the corporate ladder, like just all these things that I needed to do to kind of like prove some level of status, you know, that I was like continuously excelling and growing, and accomplishments and my achievements, like they were where I got a lot of my value. Like I'm a Virgo, like that's definitely something that is really wrapped up in my identity. I didn't really have those formative experiences that teach you where your true value lies. So a lot of that work I've had to do as I've aged, as I've gone through things, as I've experienced like heartbreak and things of that nature. So when it comes to like work and professionalism and career and status, like those were things that I could actively work on and put effort into and like see results, you know, and that instilled some level of confidence in me because I could see like this is what I'm putting in and this is what I'm getting out of it in return. Separately, because I am like financially independent and have been, I had to make a certain amount of money because I knew that I could only count on myself. I couldn't afford to like kind of just like flounce around and figure out like, oh, what do I care about? What am I passionate about? Like I had to, at a baseline, grow in the corporate structure so that I could provide for myself and like take care of my needs, you know? Like I spent the better part of my 20s in a relationship, and like some of that was, you know, just my own issues with like self-worth and like, you know, dealing with a narcissist and having narcissistic parents and just like that cycle being reinstated in a new way. It was also just like strategic. Like some ways I couldn't survive on my own, or at least I didn't think I could, you know. It wasn't clear to me how I was gonna like get ahead if I had to keep, you know, making certain decisions and carrying certain burdens like by myself. So I had gotten out of that relationship. I really had to make like a certain amount of money to be able to support myself financially, and that's before I even got my dog. That's kind of where like the desire for status and like corporate growth came from. But even as I was working in those jobs, like I would frequently run up against issues with like, I don't want to say authority, because I would get along really well with like leadership and management and things like that. It would always be like my direct manager that I would have a problem with at like any given job. I really only had like 2 jobs where like my direct manager was not like a nightmare. Really one, if I'm being honest. Having been in that situation so many times, like it really started to highlight for me how little this stuff like meant to me and like how much more I wanted to be focusing my time and talents on like things that were actually beneficial to me. But because I didn't have any sort of like passion projects or like creative outlets or things like that to really like pour myself into, it just kind of got to the point where like I was putting all of that drive and passion and zeal into my professional work because it had nowhere else to go, you know. And I worked at a lot of startups, so there would always be some gap or issue or redundancy that I could identify and be like, why are we doing this, and just like make things better. It just was putting way too much of my time, energy, and talent into improving companies and systems and processes that like didn't really benefit me. It benefited like some larger corporation or corporate overlord, you know. That just frustrated me further when it got to the point that I was like giving so much of myself to something and not getting a lot in return. It was very much like taking from me. I just found myself like lost very often, like, you know, wishing that I had a purpose. I remember I had graduated from college and just felt like I just was kind of aimlessly wandering around, just not really knowing what I wanted to do, what was calling to me, and like how to make a living, you know. And I just kind of fell into the discipline that I fell into just as a marketer, because everybody needs marketing, right? You know, and I learned really quickly and taught myself stuff and, you know, really worked my way up and busted my ass. But at the same time, like, I felt like I wasn't any closer to figuring out what really made me happy, what really like made me feel fulfilled. That's why I felt like so many of these like job situations that I had found myself in affected me so much more profoundly than like some of my peers. Like it was really difficult for me to like be in these companies and like where clear injustices were being carried out against like myself or even my peers, and just like be fine, you know, and not get upset about that. Like that was incredibly difficult. See something that's like wrong or like shouldn't happen, I'm like, why are we doing this? We could not be doing this, actually. We would all be better off. Like, I'm not the type of employee that's just gonna go off quietly into the night, you know. And if you're a manager looking to enact some sort of power dynamic to make yourself feel powerful and superior to others, like, I'm like your worst nightmare, you know. So in some ways I get why those things happened, but present day, so that's kind of my background as far as it relates to like toxic workplaces, my struggle for identity outside of work, looking for passion projects to kind of motivate me and, you know, give me that zest of life that I've been searching for, and that sense of purpose and direction. And then finally, I think most recently when I left my last job, this was back in the spring, I left in May. It was a very similar situation, you know. It was a tale as old as time. Like, things kind of started great, became a little toxic, then became a lot of toxic. You know, I was vocal throughout with all of the right people, all of the people who are put in place, like, help you through things like that. And it just didn't go anywhere. And eventually, once again, I had gotten to a point where I was like, I just need to, like, step away. And so I quit, and I didn't have a job lined up. This wasn't the first time that I've done something like that. I've done that. This is my third time, actually. The difference, though, is this is a very different job market than the ones that I had quit in before. And I've also had, like, I was in a relationship, or, you know, I was at home and didn't have to pay certain bills. You know what I mean? Like, there were other circumstances that were working in my benefit. I think it's just really forced me in many ways to like go within and just be like, look, you really need to like figure out what it is you're trying to do. And these last like 5 or so months of just like reflecting, and, you know, I've had so much happen to me this year that was like just so devastating, but I feel like I've been so much more grounded and calm in handling it. because I've been in such a reflective state. I haven't really ever had a year without tragedy, unfortunately. And I'm talking tragedy in my own personal life, like not even the lives of my peers or family or whatever, like literally just to me. But I feel like this year I had like multiple little tragedies happen, and friendship breakups, and just like really, really terrible fucked up things with people that I care deeply about happen to me. But I felt the most grounded I ever have, even as those things were taking place, which is just so strange. And I think as these things have happened and my values have shifted, I'm just starting to realize like as far as those compromises I was referencing earlier, I don't care as much necessarily about like climbing the corporate ladder, like making a certain amount or whatever. Like, I think that part of me is still dying. It's definitely still there. I'm not gonna act like I don't have that like achievement gene in me. But I think I'm starting to consider things I never considered before. Like just picking up and like going to a random city, you know, paying a little, way less, because I live in New York City. This is the richest city in the world. Paying way less for rent, way less for expenses, and just kind of like doing my little thing and making ends meet, but like not breaking my neck, you know what I mean? And having like other creative pursuits to kind of keep my mind and my heart occupied, so I'm not ever at risk of applying too much of myself to a professional obligation, because it's an obligation at the end of the day, right? Like, and I don't want that to be something that's like taking more from me than it needs to. At the end of the day, it's an obligation, and if I didn't have to do it, I probably wouldn't be. So why dedicate so much of myself to it, if that makes sense? I need to stop saying that, but should I say makes sense? It is what it is. I'm at this point now where I'm like, even New York, like I'm a native New Yorker, I'm from here. I've lived other places, but I've lived definitely in Brooklyn the longest. New York, you know, largely New York, but like specifically Brooklyn, I've lived like all over. And I'm at this point now where like I don't even like being here. Like, painful as this year was, like it got rid of a lot of attachments that I had to like this chapter of my life, this place in my life, this, you know, just different things that kind of kept me tethered to even just this geographical location. Like, I just don't even feel like I resonate anymore with New York, partially because I feel like I don't resonate anymore with the person that I was when I like first kind of touched down here. Like, I've been growing steadily and like becoming a new person and just becoming in general, but I'm at the point now where I'm like getting sick of New York. Like, I'm just like ready to go. Like, I really need a fresh start. Hey guys, just wanted to end the vlog off for the night. After the last clips I showed you, I had my little sandwich, I took a shower, called my grandma, did a little bit of journaling, and started posting some stuff on Facebook to try to start getting rid of some things in here. So I'm feeling just like not excellent. Like, I'm feeling a little bit low energy, low motivation. I did do like a lot of work today, honestly, so I think I just need to like hang it up. So I'm gonna make some tea and I'm going to just kind of turn in for the night. If you made it this far, I really appreciate you. This is definitely a journey, as you know, but I appreciate all the support and all the yeah, just the views, the patience. It all means a lot. So have a great night, everyone. What are you doing, silly? What are you doing, silly girl? Okay, let's play fetch. Come on. Let's go. Get.
These appliances, or do you have to like?
All the appliances came.